Okay, here we go. We're going to start by talking about the matrix, and in the matrix, you've seen here, you're going to see some multiplication within the matrix. That's what I'm teaching today. So here we go. There we go. Whoo! Okay, that was close. So you saw a little bit of multiplying, and then I found another clip that's kind of cool. We'll see if this shows up on the video or not. Hope it does. Where a guy broke down how you can do the breakdown. He recorded himself 4 different times behind a green screen doing this kind of like dodging thing. And then he used the shadow effect so that when he bends over, you can sort of still see his head and stuff. You can do that even with your mouse on your computer. And then he put them all together. And see, that's how you get that multiplying effect. All right, so you just wanted to kind of show the easy, kind of easy breakdown of how you could have done that scene. So, multiplying matrices can be really easy. Like, for instance, this. Interesting. Now my recording window is a little bit smaller, so I'm going to have to... How am I going to fix that? I don't know. I'll find a way. I can't move it down. Okay, there we go. Good. Okay. Not all multiplying is difficult. Like this one, for instance, has a variable in it, but like A, B, C, D, but you just basically multiply. You had to multiply everything by 3. So you go start with this one, times it by 3, you get 6. Take that one, times it by 3, you get 15. And so C is 15. And B would be what? 3. And D would be what? -6. Okay, so some are really easy. But, of course, they're going to get harder. This is the simplest of the multiplying types. And that's where you have a 2 by 2 multiplying with a 2 by 2. This is actually an add, but I'm going to use the same framework for a multiply. But do you remember on the adds you had to have the same size dimensions, like 2 by 2 and 2 by 2? It has to match up. Well, in multiplying, it doesn't have to match up, and that's I've got it changed now to the multiply. It doesn't have to match up, but it is kind of fortunate if it does, because that makes it one of the easier problems. Now, you might assume that the answer for this one would be 6, 6, 6, and 6, right? That's not right. It's more complicated than that. So I'm going to kind of show you a really quick overview of what you're going to have to do, and then I'm going to go back and break it down piece by piece, kind of like that little video I showed you. So this spot right here, you would think you just take the 2 here and this 3 here and multiply them to make that to be 6 there, but that's not how it works. It's you go that spot over there, the A, is in position what? Well, it's in row 1, column 1, and so therefore that's what I go and find is where's my row 1 and my column 1. Row 1 in the first matrix and column 1 in the second matrix, and I put them together, and then this 2 goes with this 3 and multiplies because it's a multiply problem, and that makes 6. And then this 2 goes with this 3, and that also makes 6. And what do you think I do with them? What's your gut feeling? Add them. You're right. And it would just be 12. So this spot is a 12. All right, that's kind of the big picture, and it does get more complicated. So let's break it down into little parts. Okay, move these guys down a little bit so you can see them better. The 125 by plus 16 compared to 125 times 12. Would you agree that there are different rules for multiplying and adding? And yet some of the things stay the same. Like for instance, if I go 5 plus 6, that makes 11, and I carry the 1. And if I do 5 times 2 over here, and that's 10, I still carry the 1, right? So there are some rules that are the same and some that are different. Same thing in multiplying matrices. There are all different kinds of matrices. Like, for instance, all of these guys are 2 by 2. There's a 3 by 3. Actually, can't even see that one. I could scroll down. You can see it. 3 by 3. There's a 1 by 1 matrice down there. There's a zillion kinds. So let's just go through a few for practice here. What's that one? 2 by 2. And remember that I always have to say the rows and then the columns. Everybody write R times C on your paper. You got to do rows first. This has got so many little steps. If you do this backwards, you'll get all messed up. So just write R times C. I'll remind you. Okay, what's that one? 1 by 3. Okay, and I like to think of it as, you know, I use this hand motion, which you can't see on the video, but where I'm just going across. I just count how many across, so that's 1 by how many up and down? 1, 2, 3. So 1 by 3 is right. That one. 2 by 3 is correct. And this one. 3 by 1. All right, this one and this one. I'll move down just a smidgen here so you can see them fully. Ooh, that got a little messed up. If I'm going to multiply this one out, I can test to see if it's going to work. Here's another complication of multiplying matrices. They don't all work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And here's the way you can tell if it's going to work or not. If these two match up with each other, if they're the same, then and only then it will work. You'll be able to get an answer. And if I do get an answer, and it starts out as a 2 by 2, and you multiply by a 2 by 1, it's hard to remember what your answer matrices should look like, but it's also found in the same little test. You look at the other two, and your answer matrix is a 2 by 1. Do you see what I just did there? So the inside ones tell you whether it works or not. So if they're the same, then if yes, it will work. And it will have these dimensions. It'll be a 2 by 1 matrix that comes out. So a 2 by 1 looks like this. 2 rows, 1 column. Okay? Now that's one of the complicated things to remember, because if they're all were just 2 by 2 matrices, yeah, the answers would all be 2 by 2 answers, and they'd be really easy. All right, so look at this next one. This next problem down here. Is this problem going to work or not? Yes, it is. And what kind of an answer matrix will you have? A 2 by 1. So these tell me it works, and these tell me it's going to be a 2 by 1 answer. All right. One more. Going to work or not? Is it going to work or not? Nope, because those middle two don't match up. All right. These guys. All right, next one. This one works, and I'm going to record this on my next video.